Nothing today. We're just jumping right the hell in. Oh, it says live now. Well, let's go ahead and get ourselves a drink. We'll wait for a couple people to tune in. Folks who are off work today, go ahead and crack yourself something. We're going to have a nice little honest discussion today. Myself, it's Long Road Distilleries, Michigan Cherry Liquor. You know what? We'll just go ahead and pour ourselves a happy little double. We're going to have a nice open talk today. If you're at work, don't drink unless work allows you to drink. Unless you're going to suck at your job if you drink, then don't do it. Other than that, let's get to it. So, ladies and gentlemen, you might have noticed there's been a little bit of drama lately. Damn, that doesn't taste like a cherry Coke. And we had a little bit of a breakup. The deal was, we had a studio space. We were told, don't worry about it, free of charge. Okay, that sounds cool. Free of charge. Deduct that off of Mickey's pay. Sounds fine to me. We were told, full creative freedom with our shows. Hey, that sounds wonderful to me. I enjoy talking about what I talk about. You know? And we were told that there's going to be no pushing. That what happens over with our benefactor stays at our benefactor. What happens with us stays with us. And for about a year, we ran with this. We were in a nice place downtown, where myself and Wintus had our very first show together. And then we moved down to Lippincott. And I'll tell you what, I was alright with the place being trashed when we first moved in. It was a new home. I enjoyed it. A little bit of hard work, elbow grease. We were told it's fine. It really wasn't, but you know what? You take some boards out of the wall, some bolts out of some 2x4s, you slap on a fresh coat of paint, and you cover up the holes. It looks alright. You put up some sound padding in the background, you build a desk. It looks pretty good, and it served us well. Unfortunately, unbeknownst to myself or any of the other hosts, there were strings attached. And this is where things get sticky. For about a year, I've been here on 810. I love the folks here. Some of my best friends. Mickey Jordan, best producer in the fucking world. Wintus Hall, one of the best co-hosts a man could ask for. Ashley, such a sweetheart. And I've met off and on a few other folks. Hell, I've got to talk with Tanya a few times. Get out of here, Hornet. Got to talk with Tanya, which is always a pleasure. And I got to meet Melissa Mays the other day. That was mind-blowing. Alright, man, you want to get drunk, go for it. Have fun. However, everything's pulled in the background. The first thing that really caught my attention was a few months ago when we had those presidential interviews for some candidates that, I'll be honest, they aren't looking great, they aren't going to win. But it was nice to have them on. People that actually cared about us here in Flint. People that wanted to talk. Then I was told that can't happen no more. They have to pay. Now this news came from Mickey, and I accepted this as Mickey's business. He is my producer. I'll go with it. Alright, Mickey. I mean, why would I argue? This is this man's livelihood, or so I thought. I thought that he was getting paid for the shows. I know I paid. I still pay about, yeah, well, the amounts, no one's fucking business. But it turns out it wasn't Mickey that made that decision. For the longest time, myself and Wintus made a great pair. She's excitable and, well, I'm volatile. She knows how to get me riled up on the right subjects, and I know how to get her excited about the right things. We play well together. Wintus was also on a few other shows. She is co-hosting quite a lot. She was putting in the work and the hours and the time. Nothing but respect. That woman knows how to grind. And Mickey, there every damn day in the studio with her, knows how to fucking grind. These two, shit. Even with all the roadblocks in the world in front of them, nothing's going to stop them. But then Mickey came up one day and said, hey, I'm going to move Wintus off your show. We need to spread the talent out, spread the views out. All right, Mickey, you know what you're doing. You're the best producer in the whole fucking world. I got you. Turns out, Mickey was just being a fucking producer. He was taking the hit. In case anyone had some anger or some blowback, he was keeping the drama down. He was manning up. So as it turned out, actually, no, let's go a little bit further. You're told we had full creative freedom with our shows. Okay, bro? Talk what you want, when you want. No one is going to tell you what you can or cannot say. That didn't end up happening. There are some times where I'd come up with my show notes and I'd send them to Mickey. Because I don't want to throw my producer no curveballs. I don't want to cause him no problems that he isn't ready for. You know, it's called respect. And there were times where Mickey would respond after a couple hours and say, hey dude, I need you to change this, or we can't go into that. And we wouldn't argue, but we'd talk about it. And sometimes I'd say, you know what, Mickey, I see the logic here. I'll go ahead and shift away from this. Other times, I'd say, nah, dude, it's my show, I'm doing it my way. And I do it my fucking way. And that was the end of it. Except it wasn't. There was always someone in the background to yell at Mickey for what I had said or what I had done. And I used to think it was just folks around the city. I used to think it was just, angry viewers. We have a bunch of haters out there, obviously. You guys see it all day, every day. On Reboot, Uncensored, just even on our, in the comments section, YouTube or Facebook. You see them. But it didn't turn out to be any of those folks. No. It turned out to be two folks. Two folks that decided that we weren't to be trusted with our own shows. Two folks that decided we weren't to be trusted with who we had on our show. No. It was one person that I thought I trusted, and someone who I hardly interacted with but once or twice, but was always there. I gotta say, Doc Weaver, I feel pretty hurt. I feel hurt that you wouldn't let me do what I thought was right. I feel hurt that you wouldn't let me make my own decisions like a man. And Gil, I don't know you too well, man. So I can't say I feel hurt or betrayed. Let's be honest. You have to know someone to betray him. But what really rubs me is this entire time I thought Mickey was getting paid for his work. Not being a political puppet, But do you guys know how much it costs to produce a podcast? It's kind of a thing. And it isn't just equipment, though Mickey obviously has the software on his computer that he paid for. Mickey also has the subscriptions to, say, SteamYard, what we're using here, or StreamYard, my bad, that we're using here. Those come out of his pocket. We were also looking at starting up a radio, but turns out the man didn't get none. And when it was brought up, it was told he was doing it for peace of mind. How much is your peace of mind worth? A 40-hour work week? Running all over town? How about waiting on people that just don't show up? Let's say play a rerun. I honestly don't know how much a peace of mind is worth, but a producer is worth about $1,200 a month per show. Which never happened. So the reason I wasn't rocking the boat in a lot of cases was I was afraid to mess with Mickey's income. Well, fuck. Didn't hit his income. My bad. And it kind of irritates me. A woman who goes around talking about local businesses and how important they are wouldn't pay a man doing all that work for her. And trust me, that was a lot of work. I've seen Mickey wake up at 4 a.m. and go to sleep at midnight, running himself ragged over all of this. But then it gets worse. I was recently told Mickey put in for a grant. The paperwork was filled out for him. But on the paperwork, there is a fiduciary, someone who is appointed to take care of the money for you. Thankfully, the grant got turned down because it didn't say Mickey's name on there. That was just using the man. That came out to be pretty dirty. I want you all to know one thing. This all came to a head because Wentis wanted to interview Mr. Hill Harper. It wasn't to support the man. It wasn't any of that. We want to be impartial. So, we aren't supporting Pam Pugh. We aren't supporting Hill Harper. We aren't supporting the front runner. We aren't supporting any of the crowd. We aren't supporting the Republican candidates. But if any of them want to come on to 810 and be interviewed, take your hour of time and get your message out there. We're open to you. Period. End of story. Hill Harper was just the first to jump on that. But the biggest problem was Wentis was told Hill Harper has to pay. The man is worth $22 million or some odd. Oh, 12. $12 million. $1 million, $1 million, $1 million. But he has the money he can afford to pay. But she had already made this agreement. She had already reached out to him, set a time, set a date, set a place. To come back and say, for you to come on to our shows, you have to pay. I know I already said you can come on, but now let's talk money. That sounds dirty, doesn't it? Doesn't that kind of mess with someone's credibility, with someone's reputation? Yeah. And then when Wentis declined, she said, no, I'm doing this for free. I'm a woman of my word. She was told, then you can find somewhere else to do it. And she did. Beautify, once again, thank you very much. That was a beautiful setting. And it was actually refreshing to have someone running for Senate to come into a local business and to get their name out front in front of the entire state. So, once again, thank you. That was great. And then when Wentis had left, she said she wasn't coming to the studio no more. It turned out that if she wasn't going to play their game, then she wasn't going to play on their field. Okay. So we had some decisions to make as a group, as 810. Do we want a studio that is technically for free but has way too many strings? And lose Wintus, someone who's been there for us, someone who I've been able to call when I've had the worst day of my life, someone who I've been able to call in the middle of the night and say, Wintus, you fucking see this shit? And she will pick up instantly. I've had her pick up when she is dead asleep. Someone that can bring in numbers. Because let's face it, though we have no advertisers right now, we're still a business. We're not Mickey, what's that term? 501c3 nonprofit? Trappers. We aren't one of those. But we are independent. And Wintus brings those numbers. And Wintus brings a personality that is too big to be shook. No, I'm behind her all the way. As a friend and a colleague. I don't regret this one bit. I'm going to hang out. I'm going to continue ranting. I'm going to continue being a pain in people's ass. And I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. Republican, Democrat, Weaver, Neely. If you're doing some corrupt shit, you're getting called out. And you're getting called out angrily, as I've done in the past. In the end, 810 is here for the people. We're here for the people of Flint and for the people who give a damn about Flint. Anyone trying to make a quick buck off of Flint and just scoot away, we're going to catch you with your hand in the cookie jar, and we're going to try our best to slam that cookie jar on your hand. We ain't for sale. We never have been, never will be. And when all these strings came tugging, we tugged right back and broke them. While Wintus was nice in her Q&A, trying to stop rocking the boat, trying to stop creating further drama, we saw the boat get rocked for us anyway. And that's why I'm here today doing this instead of something that actually matters. Because I want to set the record straight and give our side. Instead of letting random shit pop up, people say random things, make veiled little, what are you going to do's? This is what I'm going to do. The same thing I've always done. I'm going to put the truth out there. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I'm not sorry at all. It has always been 810's philosophy to be open. When I ran for state rep, now that I look back at it and I realize I had it, snowball's chance in hell. My campaign was pretty empty on funds. Mickey and then the head host, Sitar, reached out to me and said, we'd like to interview you. I said, okay, how much? They told me free. That was one of the biggest things to me, that people wanted to talk to me. And whether they agreed with me or not, they still gave me a place to say it. And we want to offer everyone else the exact same thing. I'm not here for the fight. Don't get me wrong. If put into a corner, we will. For the most part, though, we just want to get past this. Part of that is asking for crowdsourcing so we can pick up our own studio. No strings attached. Lease and agreement in hand instead of word of mouth or promises. Because that ain't for us. We learned our lesson. And many of you guys have come out so fast and so hard to help us. With the GoFundMe, with the, the Cash App, and then the words of love and support. You guys have been amazing every step of the way. All the shares, everything. And we're nearly there. Well, about halfway. After all the Cash App and GoFundMe has been combined. We're about up to 1,000, halfway to our first goal. And yes, this is just the first of a few, because we got things to do. We need more equipment. We need the studio space. And then anything left over is going to go to pay Mickey, as he damn well deserves. And then what he doesn't want, if he doesn't want it, then it's going to go into advertising for our shows. So we can get our message out there further. Instead of waiting on someone else to save us, we're going to save ourselves. Because that's who we are. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a fun ride. And I'm here for a while. The seas get choppy every once in a while, and this is one of them. But I can tell you for a fact, myself and Wintus will be ranting together in the future. We're getting that back together. I can tell you that there may be more shows with me in the future, because you know what? If Mickey's got time, I got time, and Flint always has something to talk about. I mean, hell, 810's Broken News before M Lies, before Channel 12, as in 12 minutes late. Any of these. It's been 810 that's there. And that's a lot because of you guys. You make sure to message us and keep us up to date. And we're going to honor that commitment from you. Honestly, I'd be answering questions right now, but I'm pretty sure if I hit chat on my phone, it's just going to blank me out. But I do have one more thing to talk about. When we first moved into that studio, you could see on some of these things, Wintus was freezing to death. She was chattering. She was shivering. In the summer, a few weeks ago, Mickey passed out on me. I should have seen the signs, and I should have known damn well better. The man overheated. Probably because the furnace never shut the fuck off. So to address those two issues, I went out and I bought a space heater that had enough power to heat up that entire office space. So Wintus and Mickey wouldn't freeze, so I wouldn't freeze. I mean, shit, look at me. I've got no insulation. And then I went out and I put about $200 on an AC unit to make sure that Mickey, Wintus, myself, Mr. Clack, all the staff, and all of our guests were somewhat comfortable. And when we brought those concerns up, we were told deal with it or go somewhere else. When we brought up concerns of mold, we were told to deal with it or go somewhere else. Which, by the way, folks, if you're with the NAACP, encourage them to move out of that building. There's mold everywhere. The tax man next to us had his office fucking flood because the pipe froze. Now, I don't know how much most of y'all know. He has to keep those records on hand for a certain number of years, and if they get destroyed, he can go away for a long time, if not just lose his license at the very least. Look, this isn't me throwing shade or talking shit. This is me talking the truth and some of the trials we had to go through. And then people trivializing them in front of us, it's not going to fly. A lot of what happened in that office came out of my pocket. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with the labor I put into it. And I'm fine leaving it in better condition than we got it. Because that's something you learn. That's called respect. And it seems like we didn't get any from the start. So, in conclusion, folks, because this is going to be a shorty, it's really hard for me to talk for an hour without bouncing off of folks, and I can't read my comments. You're going to see a lot more of us. You're going to see us everywhere. You're going to see a lot more of me and Wintus. Wintus already has her own show, 2 of them. Plus, she's going to be working with me more in the future, and she has Sister Circle, which that should be on tonight. And I can't wait to see some of the stuff there. This is going to be great. You're going to see myself and Mr. Clack, hopefully. He said he's staying with us, and that's going to be a good time. It's always a good conversation with Mr. Clack. We've been floating the idea of talking to some friends, and while we're in between places, giving their businesses a shout out. So keep an eye out, folks. We're going to make sure to support our local businesses one way or another. But this is the only time we're going to bring this up. After today, we are done talking about it. Number one, because to be honest, high school drama bullshit is beneath us. And number two, there's a lot more going on in Flint than our bullshit. And we can't afford to be self-centered if we want to make some sort of change. We've got a school board. We've got city council. As always, a fucking clown show. We've got a mayor that needs an eye cap on. We've got our board of commissioners. And we've got a multi-million-dollar Fortune 500 global company trying to muscle its way in here with a paycheck. And we're not going to let that stand. And we're going to keep an eye on all of these things at all times. And we're going to continue bringing you the news that you want. Mickey, play me out. Get that thing playing yet? You know what, bud? Just go ahead and end it. I think I hit him before he was ready. No, he wasn't ready. Say what now?